Hello and welcome to hobby vlog number 216. Before I go any further, don't forget that you can vote in my Reaper painting challenge. The list of miniatures that are available to paint, to vote for this week is in the description and also on screen now. I have loads of views, but not many of you bother just to put a comment below to vote, and it'll be really awesome because you will be entered into a monthly and a yearly draw for each vote that you do. For each, so you can only vote once, but so yeah, vote once and you get one entry. So yeah, do get involved. Last week I was told to voted for the Hill Troll. And here you can see, if I can focus in, here you can see the Hill Troll painted up. I had a really good fun with that, and so thanks for that. And this week the winning one was the DHL Classics Dwarves. So there's those. So I have randomly, they got 3 votes. Everyone else got 1, I got 3 votes. It was a clear winner this week. So I have randomly generated a list of another 10 miniatures to paint. Again, I'll put them back on screen now and they are in the description. Just pop a comment below and you will be able to, you'll be influencing what I'm painting and also be entered into that draw. So to get back to it, it's been a really tough week. I said that a lot, but this really has been. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but those who know. However, I have got some hobbying done. Most of what I've been doing has been either working on the model railway or just painting miniatures and doing stuff like that. But I have got some hobbying done, in particular progressing on my Castillo de San Marcos, which I'm having a lot of fun with. That's the big thing I'm working on. But anyway, it might be a shorter video today, I don't know. I haven't yet edited it as I stand here recording this, so we'll find out together. I really hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to leave that comment. Pause the video, do your vote, and then carry on, because I get like 100, 150, 200 views and 8 votes. Just makes no sense to me. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you for voting if you do, and I'll see you again at the end. So this week we've just done our experience and upgraded ourselves. As part of, just as the GM kind of can, I've given everyone +1 on their Valor, basically because the last thing was a little bit scary, wasn't it, Rosie? We had to go into a dark cave and we did it anyway, even though we were scared, so I've given a +1 to everyone on the Valor, which is good. Then we've rolled, well, I've given 9 experience points on both combat and skills. So Labila, you did battle. Explore and travel. Yeah. Primula, you did song, craft, ore, and courtesy. Yes. And I did my persuade up, did my enhearten, and my insight. So I've worked on this and this and this. Yeah. So yes, and then we all basically took our best combat skill from 3 to 4, and in the rules there is no points for 3 to 4, but I've just followed the pattern and said it's 8 points. So yeah, so that's that. So we will be back next week for a proper session where Rosie is a little bit sad that we're not doing one today, aren't you, love? Yeah, but I haven't prepared. I'm not ready. Sit yourself up. Are you going to give Mummy a cuddle? Okay, yeah, I'm not prepared, so so we're just going to do this very quick session now. We'll be back next week to do Involuntary Postman, Rosie. Involuntary Postman, that's the name of the next one. So it should be fun, but I need to prepare, and I haven't prepared because I was planning on this session. So yeah, that's it. Not a very long video, not a very long sat down at the table, but we're ready for next week now. You say bye-bye.
Bye, I'm going because I'm sad.
I know, love, I'm sorry, darling. Next week, okay? Well, the third miniature I'm going to paint is the Hill Troll, 02421. Destroyed that, didn't I? So there we are, it's a metal figure. So this is the first metal one that I'm painting as part of this challenge. And it is awesome. I don't see much cleaning up needed, a little bit under the arm there. There's a little bit that just came off as I touched it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put some hot water in a bowl and scrub that in soapy water so that I get all release agent off it, and then I'll prime it and we'll get that painted up. So I've got a week to do it, so let's get it done. I really do love the bright colours I've got on this right now, but it's time to tone them back. So what I've got is a little bowl of water and my dark grey paint, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a dark grey wash, and I'm going to basically apply that all the way over all of it, just to tie it all together. I was going to do a dry brush, as I said in the previous clip, I think, but on reflection, I think a dark grey wash is actually going to work a little bit better. So mix that up, make a right mess probably, and hopefully this is going to work, because this is not a technique I've actually ever used before on terrain. So we shall see. That might be a little too runny. My attitude is, if this goes wrong, I can very easily apply the colours again and paint it again. I don't need to panic too much about destroying it. That's my attitude. So yeah, we're just going to paint this over the lot, and then I can also always come back with some more, like I say, some more dry brushing if I think I need to. Right, so I'll do this, let it dry, and then we'll see what it looks like. It's nice doing a new technique. I'll probably mop up any puddles with a towel. Initially, I'm quite pleased with how that looks. That's really dulled it down, but also lightened it as well. So it's taken some of the shock out of a few of the colours and brought the black up. So I'm not going to throw my grey away. I'm going to pop that to one side, let that dry, and see what it looks like. So I'll bring you back when it's dried again. All right, let's start getting some templates drawn up. So this is just some cardboard that I think actually brought some picture frames in, as it happens, not that it matters. And I've just measured, so I need to do a kind of half a diamond shape, or whatever shape it is, which is 537mm long and 268.5 wide. And if I look at this tab here is 31.5. So if I cut this off, then this is going to be enough for me to draw on my template, and yeah, so that's going to be good. So what I'm going to do now is just cut across here, and that will then mean I don't have quite as much material on the bench getting in my way. So let's just get that done. I really love these safety rulers. They were one of the better, not cheap, but they were some of the best buy I ever did, I think. Honestly, really good. So we can get that out of the way. That can go to recycling. And what we're left with is our sheet. So might just trim down. Actually, I might cut from that side because I'm pretty happy with that. Let me just make sure that I've got a perfect 90 degree. Grabbing tools when I need them. Yeah, cut that nice and straight. So I'll cut off this side. So what I'm going to need to do, and I won't film all of this because it's going to just be a bit boring, but what I need to do is I need to measure my and mark on these lines here. So this is going to mean it's I'm squaring this up, as I've said in the previous one. So this odd angle here is not going to be, that's going to be the same length as that one, etc, etc. So I'm just going to, it's just going to be equilateral, it's going to be equal. So, so what I'm going to do is going to measure the, that cut there, going to measure that size there and that size there. And then when I've got it all marked out on here, I'll bring you back and show what it looks like, and we'll do the cutting, and then we will look at doing wrapping it all in tape so I can make use of my hot wire cutter to do the cutting without worrying about cutting into the actual cardboard, which can happen. Anyway, I'll bring you back very shortly when I've done it. Well, here we are. I've got the template cut out. I did do one full start, but it's worked now, and I've placed it on top of the white foam, and I'm not sure that I am going to have to buy more white foam as it happens. So if I just roughly draw around that and then draw around that here, I think I can get 3 out of 1. I'm not sure, but I think I can. Yeah, I can get 3 out of 1. Look at that. There we are. Oh, zooming out a bit. There we are. Right, so yes, I can get 3 out of 1. So that means I don't have to go and buy more white foam, which is good. And I can work with what I've got. Another thing to say, which I worked out just now, just this morning, is what these 2 lines here actually represent is this is the bottom part of the wall, and that is the top part of the wall, because the wall slopes at about 15 degrees. And I've had some pictures sent to me by B Gamer Joe over on he's Joseph Forster from the Blood and Plunder Discord, and he's also, I think, quite involved in things. He's been an absolute legend. He shared the blog post and also sent me through all of the pictures that he took, and I found one and it showed that sloping really, really clearly, and I'll pop it on the screen now. So I'm going to need to do two templates. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm going to do a template which will have this inner shape as well, and what I'll then do, I'll cut these out as blocks. What I'll then do is have to place the inner template in the middle and then do it at an angle or get it 15 degrees on my Proxon, which is kind of over there. Can't really see it at the moment, but the Proxon might be the better idea, to be honest, if I can manage to fit it in, because the Proxon is not very big. Anyway, it gets a little bit more complex because of that sloping, but that's cool. We'll cope with it. So what I'm going to do now, like I say, I'm going to wrap this with some tape, and then I'm going to start trying to cut these out. I'm going to do some cutting out before I film, because I want to make sure I get it right, and then I'll show you how I'm doing it once I've got a little bit of a pattern going. I'll show you how I'm doing the cutting out, and then then we can move on and see if we can work out how to do this angle, which I think could be a little bit challenging, but we'll get to that later. So this project is turning into what technique am I going to use rather than just build it. So let me show what I've got. So this one here is cut out using my Proxon, and as you can see, the edge is not very smooth at all, but it's not terrible. It's probably better. Well, I don't know, it's different to the one I got using my super stupidly expensive styro cutter Profi from probowteam.de, which is what this is. So here's my template, and you can see here that while I am going to be doing this as a slope, I wanted this first one to be completely and utterly straight, and that's just not happened. Now if I put these two together, other way, sorry, like this, you can see that the Pro Team one is a lot shorter than the other one, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to put those to one side. They might be salvable. I might still be able to use them, I'm not sure. But what I'm thinking about doing now is having a go at making this just with cardboard. So work out the cardboard base, build some braces that would have a 15-degree slope, because that's the slope of the battlement, and build those braces up as high as I want them, which is about 8 to 10 centimeters. Stick them to the base, stick some sides to it, put a top on it, and then basically cover that with material to make it strong. So build a really like a ribbed box. That's my plan. So I'm going to try that now. So I'm going to put this away. I'm not going to throw it away because, you know, it might end up being the correct way to build it, but I'm going to explore using cardboard only. So yeah, this is an awesome project and also teaching me, and I'm going to learn a lot. So yeah, I've often found that the Proxxon, I don't know, it's probably my fault, it's probably my user error rather than anything, but I've often found that the Proxxon, when you're trying to kind of like cut along a guide, that you do get these kind of hesitation marks and it's not perfectly straight. I find that a problem. And the Pro Bow Team thing, maybe I just had it on too hot, but I'm going to try the cardboard anyway. So once I've got this cleared up and I'm starting to reassemble that cardboard structure, I will bring you back. All right, a little more progress on this. I thought I'd actually show you some of the process I'm going by with regard to this cardboard idea. So what I've done is I've taken the plan, worked out the amount of the bottom dimension of my triangle that's going to have the sloped walls, and it was 53 millimeters. So I put that into a calculator for triangles and worked out that my height of the wall is going to be 198 millimeters, and it all ties together, which is double plus good, because if I look at that and put that into rough scale translation, 198 millimeters is roughly 36 foot high, which is about what we're looking for. 36 foot high is how high the walls were. So what I've now done is I've split this shape up into quadrants. As you can see, I've got the line going down the middle, which I always had, and then I've got lines going across, and they are actually 9 centimeters between them along the diagonals. And what I'm going to do is, and we'll bring you back when I've done the cutting, but I thought I'd just talk it through and see whether verbalizing it made sense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get cardboard. This bit is too short, but I'll have one piece that will go all the way down the middle, and that will have its 15-degree slope here, and will be cut to a 198mm tool, and will be straight up at this end because this end is going to butt onto the wall, so it needs to be flat. And then I will cut these lengths as well, once more doing them so that they can be upstanding 190mm and have the sides sloped at the 15 degrees. And then I will do a dovetail joint, or whatever it's called, where I will have slots on the central piece cut out and slots on the cross pieces cut out, so they can kind of like go together like that, if that makes sense. But what I do need to remember is I'm going to leave some tabs on the bottom, so the height of these will be more than 198, because I'm going to have maybe 10-15 mil tabs which I can fold out. And then I'll have a tab here and a tab here and a tab here and a tab here, and I'll be able to glue that piece in upright because the tabs will keep it straight. I'll also have tab here, tab here, tab here, tab here, so this can also be upright. I'll be able to assemble all of that without gluing it, and then have quite a strong honeycomb of material and sloped with slopes there. And then the last thing will be to get the to get the walls on, which I will do. I'll be able to glue those on to these uprights, and it should look good. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. It's taken some thinking to kind of like get to the bottom of that, but I'm pretty happy with that as an answer. So I just do need to make sure that I know exactly how long this run is. I've forgotten to write it down, and now of course oh, I know I did. It's 205. Here we are, 205. I did write it down. So the actual height of the walls with the slope, so the length of the walls, is 205 mil. So that's what's going to be there, and there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this side. Whether I'll make these, like literally, I probably will make them completely contained. I'm not going to do any rooms inside these. In the actual prototype, one of these bastions, which is the word for it, has a room inside it which was used as a powder store until it got too damp, and then they closed it up. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to be needed for this. Mostly this is going to be played as a fort. Whether I do the walls inside, the rooms inside the walls, I'm not sure, but certainly the bastions are going to be just solid monolithic. So I'll probably completely enclose this yeah, leave it like that. But we shall see. Anyway, that's a bit of a long chattery one, but I've been enjoying this, enjoying the challenge of bending my mind to it, and hopefully this will work, because certainly I don't think the white foam is. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. Right, so onwards, let's get some cutting, some measuring. I'll bring you back when I've got this honeycomb done, and we'll have a look and see what it looks like then. Right, so this has worked perfectly with that grey wash. I had to do a couple of little bits of touching up. There was a big blue blob on one of these stones here, so I literally just took my finger, dipped it into the wash and dabbed it on a couple of times. But other than that, it literally has just been the one application, and that's worked perfectly. So that's really nice to know how well that works, and I'll remember and use that technique again, because yeah, it's really drawn it together. I'm not pretending that I made the technique up. I've just not done it before myself. So what I've got now, what I'm going to do now is just a little bit of green, not very much, just maybe a little bit of green. There's not very much grass on these sorts of ridges. So so yeah, so just a little bit of green and a little bit of like yellow and purple. So that would be like more likely to have that kind of thing up there, which is like thistles and stuff like that. So I'm just going to dab it in, a little bit of glue, and drop that on just to add a bit of texture, and then we're going to put the miniature on. So yeah, this won't take long because I'm really not going to do very much. Just want a tiny touch of colour and different textures, because you do get some kind of greenery and what have you up here sometimes. It's just not very much. So yeah, get that finished, and then when that's dried and sealed on, I'll bring you back and we'll stick the miniature that represents my father, and yeah, then we're done. Which is good. We're coming up to the anniversary of his passing, so having this done for then is quite important to me, for obvious reasons. Oh, don't go down. Don't dribble down too much. There we are. Right, so I'll finish this off and then bring you back for the final step, as I say, which is going to be sticking the miniature in place. Right, so I've done that in, and also sealed it on with another layer, and I've decided I just want to get this done. So here he is. He's going to be walking along there. So just a dab of super glue on the bottom of his feet, like so, and he's going to be just approaching this rise. So I'm going to hold it on. There we are. That's all it needs, and that is that. There we are. Quite emotional now, actually. I've been planning this for a fair while. I'm really pleased to see it. So there we are. We'll let that to dry, and that's that piece finished. Fantastic. And I finished the hill troll. That was actually a lot of fun to paint. I think I did it in just 2 sittings, and pretty pleased I did that in 2 sittings, because pretty much 2 sittings is all I've had this week with everything that's going on. So yeah, pretty pleased, pretty happy with how it's turned out. Thank you ever so much to everyone that voted last week and everyone that's voted already this week. Yeah, we will. I don't know yet what my miniature is going to be for next week, but hopefully it'll be as much fun as this. I really enjoyed this one anyway. I finished King Golden Cap as well this week, so that's good. I've got one more to do for my little for the little paint along challenge from Blood and Pigment, which is Lol. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get that done, but at least I've got 2 now out of the 3 I aim for, and it is what, the 19th, so there's a chance I should finish that next week, because I'm way into it actually. I've not got much more left to do on him, just not quite got him finished yet. But yeah, nice and easy paint job. Struggled to get the eyes in on this one. I don't normally paint eyes. I went for the eyes this time, and he looks completely nutty boss-eyed, but whatever. As I practice, I'll get better at that, I'm sure. But yeah, pretty happy with how he turned out. Okay, so we have all of the bits of cardboard, but I think that I've caught myself from making a mistake just as I'm about to start assembly. So let me quickly talk you through. So we've got all of these sections here, which are here, and they are going to, let me get mine prepared earlier. This is my practice one, so I'm going to slice the top and the bottom, and they will mesh together like that. So the 421 actually goes at the foot like that, and then the larger one, and then it narrows down. Now what I've noticed is, as I've been working on this, is the final one, which goes here, with, if I was doing the same slope as all the others, is actually well, first of all, it was too small because I did exactly the same slope at the end, at the head of this, of the promontory. However, if I look and measure it, where this is a 53mm on the scale, this one's going to be 103mm because it's a slightly low, because it points out it's a further distance from this apex to there than it is across here. So what I've done now is I've marked that to 103 in from the end, and it does that. It does a much steeper angle, as you can see. However, when I now offer my final one up, it's not hugely off, but it is off. So where it needs to be pointing to is roughly there. However, I'm going to, I'm aware that this entire first attempt might need to be thrown away. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this now, and I'm going to cut this there to make it so it's the right height. And I'm just a little bit worried that we're going to have a bend or a curve in this wall here. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I'm confused, put it that way. So yeah, so I'm pretty confident of all the rest of them. It's just this last one I'm not confident that I've got my trigonometry correct. So anyway, what I'm going to do now, and I'm not going to film it because it's going to be a bit tedious. This one's going to get glued down as a central core, and each of these are going to get cut to halfway from the top. Each of these are going to get cut halfway from the bottom, and they'll slide on over. And then I probably will end up using some copy decks to glue this down. This one's almost out, I've got another one, so I'll have to get another thing of copy decks to glue these down, and then we'll see whether it works or not. And as I say, I'm pretty confident of everything. I'm just a bit nervous of this last one. I don't know that I've got my angles right, and I can't quite conceive of how it's working right now. So anyway, I'll bring you back when it's done. Right, so everything is now slotted in place. And I think that this 95, the last one, I'm not gonna do, because we just worked out that this sharper angle here is definitely correct. Yeah. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take these all off, gonna cut that, and I'm gonna glue the central spine to the base. And then tomorrow I'll come and I'll glue the cross pieces in. Like I said, I'm just going to use copy decks because it's just going to work best, I think. And I'm not going to do a final triangle at this end, so the smallest triangle is not going to get done. And we're just going to see what it looks like. So I will get that done. I'll probably do the full process on camera as well, show you the gluing and that, if this works. But for now, I'm just going to get it done off camera. So there you are, as I say, a pretty short vlog. Not very much done actually, to be honest. And yeah, I'm not going to belabor my personal issues, but it has been incredibly difficult this week. Here's hoping that things improve, frankly. Don't forget to vote, as I said in the intro. The list is on the screen again now and in the description. Just pop a comment with which miniature you want me to paint, not this coming week, but the week after. And yeah, I'll enter you into the draw, and hopefully what you vote for will win, and then you can get to see what that looks like. So thank you ever so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Having things to do, having the motivation to do it because I want to do a vlog is really keeping me going. So yeah, it may not seem like much, but you really are helping out over here. So thanks a lot for that. I really appreciate it. I'll wrap up by saying, as I always do in all of my vlogs, still going on the horrible wars both in Ukraine and in Israel. And if any one of you is impacted directly or indirectly by those horrific situations, my thoughts do go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that situation. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.